I want to do a little preparation for the main mitzvah, the Rasa of Shofar from Rosh Hashana, and then we'll do the second thing. If we have time, we'll go into the Baal Shem Tov too. All right. The first thing is we have to understand that it says in what's the Makor? Why do we blow Shofar from Rosh Hashana?
Yom Teruah.
Oh, doesn't even say to blow. It says Yom Trua Yelechem. Yom Trua, a day of Trua. What does Trua mean? It's a good question. What does Trua mean? Yelil, Bechi. It's a time when you have to express your spirit that you have not been what you could have been. You could have been better. You could have been more. You are expressing your remorse that you have failed in certain areas. Now, the shlos is a very interesting thing. It's not on the page here, but it's a good thing. It's easy to remember. The way we always blow a tekiah first and a tekiah at the end, and in between we have shvarim trua or shvarim trua. You have a pen. You don't need a pen. The shlos says a very interesting thing. It's beautiful. It's easy to remember. The tekiah is a straight call. That's how you created. You created yashar, straight, with no shtikalach, no interests, nothing. You created straight. And as life goes on, you have all kinds of pitfalls, the shvarim and the trua, and we realize that we're broken because we're not straight. But then you have a tekiah at the end, says the Shema, there's always hope that you can straighten yourself out again. So that is one thing that you can always keep in mind when you hear the blowing of the shofar. It's very important. Why am I saying important? You have to understand one thing. The Ikar Jew, the Ikar person, is not his deeds. The Ikar Jew is his machshava. The Baal Shem Tov says, where is a person? Where is a person? Where his machshava is. Not what he's doing, where his machshava is. That's where the Ikar person is. That's what remains with you when you leave this world. The machshava stays in the neshama. That's what goes up. Your body stays here. The neshama is everlasting. That's, I mean, as far as the Olam Hazeh is concerned, but that's not the Emes La'amita. That's only as far as in Olam Hazeh, deeds are what counts. Machshava, but in Olam HaEmes, what counts is the machshava. Very important. So if you have this in mind, when you hear the shofar blowing, I started out straight, and I want to end up straight. And I am feeling bad about what happens in between. I'm broken, shvarim, trua, and I'm crying about it. So that's an important kavanah to have, an easy kavanah, very simple. You can tell it to all your friends. You don't have to have any deep kavanahs, but that's in general. That comes from the shloh. It's not me. But even before that, you have to realize blowing shofar is not just something which is part of the ceremony. Blowing shofar, as you said, is a mitzvah aseh d'oraisa. And like every mitzvah aseh d'oraisa, I know we don't say it, but you have to say it. The Baal Tekiah, maybe he said it before he makes the bracha. But we also, in our minds, sitting and listening to the shofar, and the bracha, what does he make? L'shmoa kol shofar. Doesn't it call? L'shmoa. He himself, and he's deaf. Baal Tekiah could be an excellent blower, and if he's deaf, he can't be Yitzhak. The Ikar is what you hear. What what reminds you of, what are you supposed to be thinking of when you hear the call. That's
he can't blow it.
Huh?
He's allowed to blow.
No, he's not allowed to blow. No, he's not allowed to blow. Even though he's a very good blower. He has to be able to hear. So he's only blowing so he can hear. So then we also, he's being mighty us with the bracha. So the bracha is in the shmoah. And we are all doing the shmiyah. But you have to have in mind before he starts, I want to be the kind of mitzvah say of Yom Shua Yelachem. the kind of say of Shmiras Kol Shofar, as it says in the Rosh Hashana, Nishmo Kol Shofar. That's the first thing. That's what it says about that. The Kai Mitzvah Zayt Metorah, Nishmo Kol Shofar, the top line. Okay. Now, there are many, as far as the Kavanas are concerned, what to have in mind, there are many different levels. Many different levels. If you take a look in by the Svardim, by the Kubalim, you can get dizzy. They're all of the Alibis Hoyonim in Atzilus and Bria. It's very complicated. Yeah.
You talked about last week. The first three is Avodah Zarah.
That's here on the sheet. But that's the easy stuff. That's easy stuff. He brought it up. Yeah, come back. Take a look. Take a look. At the bottom of the page. Bottom of the page. Huh? No, the paragraph above that. The Chen Yesh Nachavim. You have 30, and 10. This is very important. We're not being Mavatal Avodah Zarah. We're not being Mavatal over mosques. Right? All the churches. We're not being Mavatal the Avodah Zarah. All the statues. We're not being Mavatal that. The Yetzer Hara Avodah Zarah. The Yetzer Hara for this. Now, you don't have the Yetzer Hara for it. You have a desire to worship Yeshu? No, I don't have a desire to worship Yeshu. You have a desire to go into a mosque? I have no desire to go into a mosque. So what am I working on? What am I working on? No, I said it to us last time. Any other worship other than God is considered Avodah Zarah, even if you're worshiping yourself. Even if you're worshiping yourself. And people do things, in the back of their mind, they have their self-interest at heart. Why are they doing things? They're doing it because of their self-interest. That is a form of Avodah Zarah. It's a very, very delicate thing, very hard. Let me give you an example. I told somebody else today, when I was a younger fellow, I was learning in yeshiva, I had originally planned to be a psychologist. So I went to college, I took a course in psychology, a BA, Bachelor's in Psychology, and then I went for a master's in guidance, which is also connected to psychology. I figured I'm going to be a psychologist. But I was still in yeshiva. I only went to college at night. My day was always in yeshiva. I went to night college. It took a little bit longer. Doesn't matter to me. I didn't want to leave yeshiva. So I'm in yeshiva the entire time. And all of a sudden, I don't know where it came from, why it happened. I was in the yeshiva of Adam Chashuv. He was a dayan in Vilna. He was the only Rav that was left alive in Vilna in the Shoah. The only Rav that was left alive, he was the youngest Rav. He was Rabbi Gustman. He was the Rosh Hashana, my Rosh Hashana, and I came to Israel with him. So, being under his tutelage, hearing Shema from him, I said to him one day, Rabbi, I want to be a Rav. I want to learn the smicha. So he says, I accept you. He knew me already. I was learning in yeshiva a couple of years. He knew me. All right, I accept you to be in this smicha program. So me and another fellow, we sat down and we learned for 3 years, chavrusa. We learned through all the things you have to learn through. At the end of the 3 years, I went in, got a test on what I learned. It says you have smicha. That was it. I'm saying to myself, why did I do that? What was my motive? What did I want? Would that be considered to be learning Torah the Shema or not? What do you think? Is that Torah the Shema?
Well, I have my own issue. Brief. I have a friend from a shul that's in a wheelchair, and he lives in the place that's part of Kol Chabad off Naftali. So it's a handy home for handicap. So he lately decided to try to start doing Chabad minions. And they only have 5 or 6 religious people in wheelchairs. So he's invited me once and one Friday night, and now the last 2 Saturdays, can you come and make a minion? I can't come up with a reason now not to. But I kind of want to, I don't want to necessarily go there every week. But what's my reason not to go?
All right, but that's a different issue. That's a different issue.
All right.
Different issue. That's doing a chesed. That's something else. Something else. Here I said to my Rosh Hashana, I'd like to be a Rav. I'm going to be a Rav. Now, you all know what the definition of learning Torah the Shema is. This is absolutely amazing. It comes from the Baal Shem Tov. I didn't say it myself. He says there are 3 levels of learning Torah the Shema. It's very, very hard. Very, very hard. First, we'll take Shalom Lishma. What he calls Shalom Lishma. He says the Arizal started off Shalom Lishma also. Where's the Shalom Lishma? He would learn halacha, pilpul, shakla b'tai, questions and answers, and Tosfos and Rashi and the Rishonim and this, back and forth, arguing until you finally get to the halacha. He says that's learning Shalom Lishma. Why is it Shalom Lishma? Because there's an interest. What's the purpose of it? To mirashavu the kochas of the klipot. If you learn that way, you learn in halacha, Shulchan Aruch, the Gemara, the Mishnah. You're trying to get to the truth and understand what is the final outcome of the halacha. What are you doing by that? You're being meshaber the kochas of the klipos. You're breaking the kochas of tum in the world. He calls that Shalom Lishma. That's Shalom Lishma. Yeah? However, everyone should be doing it for that reason. But he says that's Shalom Lishma. What is Lishma? What is the Shema? The Shema is, after you get to that level, you want nothing else except the Dveikus, the Shekhinah, nothing else. All I want to have is my attachment to the essence of Hashem himself. That's all I want. Where do I find it? I find it in the letters of the davening, in the letters of the Torah, in the letters of the learning too. I want to connect. I thought Shlomo Melech said, "Mishoteni mineshikos pim." Shlomo Melech says in Mishnah, he wanted to be kissed. He wanted to be kissed. When 2 people kiss, they connect. That's what Shlomo Melech was saying. I want to be kissed by Hashem. I want to have that dveikus. That's all I'm interested in. Nothing more. No Shabbat the Klipos. No interest, nothing at all. Only to have the attachment, to be close to Hashem, to be done with Him. That's the highest level. That's real Lishma.
So try to understand is not Lishma.
Oh, no. So let's get the 2 levels again. When he says Shalom Lishma is what the Arizal did, he learned to break the kochos of tum in the world by this sacrifice of the halach, back and forth. That's one level. The other eye, after you do that, you're taking off the clothes of the Shekhinah. She's clothed. You have the word hakala. Hakala and halacha is the same words. Hakala, who's the kala? The Shekhinah. She is clothed in what? She's clothed in Torah, in Tosfos, in the Rambam, in Rashi, in Gemara. That's the clothing of the Shekhinah. You want to take off the clothing and you want to meet only the Shekhinah directly. No other interests, no other separations at all. Just, you should take in the Shikus Piyuk. That is the emes nikah Shema. So I said to myself, I said to my Rosh Hashana, I want to be a Rav, I want to get smicha. Do I fit into that category? Not at all. You know what the Baal Shem Tov says on that? It's Gadol Avodah Menasar. He said that is totally avoid the zar. That's mamish. What is zar? You hear that? Because you have what was my interest? I want to be a Rav. I want to have a parnasa. A psychologist. I decided I'm not going to be a psychologist. I want to be a Rav. I want to go out and teach. But it's all for me. That's what he says here. He had to be in the first case. To mevatel the yetzer hara. Avodah Zarah means any other service, even the service of the self, that's also included in that. That's the first thing you have to mind when the first set. It's very important because the whole world, the religious world, I was Orthodox the whole time. I was an Orthodox Jew. I started yeshiva in a Orthodox, in a grade 4, kindergarten. I was in yeshiva my entire life. I didn't know anything else but Orthodoxy. That's all. I had friends in the neighborhood who were religious, but they all, were traditional. They all would fast and Yom Kippur and things like that. But they weren't Shem Shabbos, but they were nice people. But I was Orthodox. And all Orthodox Jews, many Orthodox Jews, have this mentality. It's perfectly okay. You want to be a Rav, you want to go out and teach Torah, you want to be a Rebbe, you want to be... What's wrong? Nothing wrong. It's very good. But it's Shalom Lishma. It's not the real Lishma, where all you want to learn Torah is to connect with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Like Shlomo Melech says, Yishakeinim Yishikas Pi. That's all I want. That's all I want, just to connect with the Shekhinah. That's it, nothing else. I want that Dveitus. That's the highest level, with no other cheshbonos, no interest at all. Whew. Not easy to be a good children. Not easy, let me tell you. Very, very hard. Who would say you have an honest and serious request, you want to get smicha, you want to go up and be a rabbi? Something wrong with that? Is something wrong with that? Well, we just learned that there is something wrong with that. Means there's some self-interest, there's some self-gain. It's for yourself.
So sometimes be a simpleton.
Yeah.
Could be good.
Yes, it could be. It could be. Depends, yes, it's possible. Without cheshbonos, that's correct. So this is the kavanas that we have to have in the first 30 before Musaf. I want all of these kochos of the shofar to mavatal the yetzer hara, for avoid the Zohar. The desires for any other worship, including my self-worship, to mavatal the yetzer hara, and that is the most common thing that people aren't even aware of. People aren't even aware of it. Sometimes it's in the back of their mind. When I asked my Rosh Hashana, do I want to be a Rav? Did I think in my mind it's self-interest? Did I think this way? I didn't know the Baal Shem Tov at that time. I didn't know the Arizal at that time. I think that's a very, very nice, respectable thing to do. Want to go be a Rav? So you have to learn for smicha. You have to be a Rav. What's wrong with that? Very good. I didn't think that any chasara at all. I was very proud of myself. But after learning the Baal Shem Tov and the Arizal, I see, wow, he says, I'm me, and God will find him in the side. Yeah. He doesn't want to consider that Shalom Lishma. It's worse than Shalom Lishma. Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
No.
That means if you have to make a ticket on yourself, you have to do things, don't be sending other people to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. That's what it means. No one's going to learn for you to become smicha. You got to be a smicha, you got to learn yourself. Okay, all right. The second group on the bottom there, Chazoras Hashatz. Now here in Chabad, by the Hasidim or the Sfardim, they blow another 30 kolos in the middle of the silent Shemon Esrei. By the Ashkenazim, it's done only Chazoras Hashatz. Now this is very, very troublesome to me. I understand why. Remember why?
No, we discovered that in Torah.
No. Everybody in the middle of Shemona Esrei is holding by a different place. You're holding there, he's holding, you're down slower, you're down faster. Everyone's holding. All of a sudden, the Baal Tekeya starts to blow. Everyone has to stop and listen. What kind of a thing is that? The middle of Shemona, it's mafsik. Disturbs. What kind of a thing is that? Why is it done in the silent Shemona Esrei? The only reason that I saw that makes any kind of sense to me at all is because what is in second 34? Kamavatol Yetzara of Gili Arayos. Gili Arayos is something which is done in private, secretly. You don't do it in public. You don't have relations with a married woman out in the street. You do it, no one sees, quietly. So therefore, it has to be done during the silent Shemona Esrei, when you're alone with it. That's why it's there. And that's the only explanation that I see. But there's got to be other reasons. There's got to be other reasons too. I didn't see any other reason. In the middle, it doesn't make any sense to blow shofar in the middle of the silent Shemona Esrei. It's very disturbing. I'm trying to, and if I'm really concentrating on Shemona Esrei, I may not even hear the tchiyah. I'm really into it. I may not hear it. So, but all right, that's what I saw, an explanation. Because just like Gili Arayos, all kinds of immoral activities are done shamefully in the side. You don't want anyone to see. It's done quietly. So it has to be done during the quiet, silent Shemona Esrei also. Mida connected Mida. All right, fine. So that is important for that. Give me a right. Third one, after the Shemona Esrei and Dur Chazor Shas, this is the Yetzer Hara of Shvichus Damim. Now you don't have any Yetzer Hara to kill anybody. I don't have either. So who are we talking about here? You know what's this?
The mouthing. Oh.
What?
If you advise somebody, if you embarrass somebody publicly, that's considered Shvichus Damim. His face turns white, the blood leaves his face. It turns white. Huh?
Even if you're joking.
Even if you're joking, but to him it's not a joke. You said something to somebody, and you didn't even really want to do it, but you did it. If you shoot somebody with a gun, and you didn't mean to do it, he's still going to die. So if you embarrass somebody publicly, that's considered shvichas damim. So you have to be careful. You shouldn't have the yetzer hara to want to hurt anybody. Sometimes you have kindness. You want to take revenge against people. People will bother you. That is you have mevatel the yetzer hara. You know, when I say Kriyat Shema at night, so before I say the bracha of Hamapil, so there's an introductory paragraph. So we go to Shalom. There's anybody who bothered me, who made me angry, who did something against me in any form whatsoever, either in this Gilgal or the previous Gilgal, I'm Michael. And then it says, I don't want anybody to have to suffer. Lo ye'amesh shum adam b'sibasi. I don't want to be the cause of anybody to have any punishment. It's not on me. I don't want to have anything to do with it. If anybody else punished, it shouldn't be on me. I'm asking, I certainly don't want to be the one who inflicts the punishment. So this is the yetzer hara for shvichas damim. You don't want to have a desire to hurt anybody. That you have to be masbala for. And sometimes people have kindness. People bother you. People are, really on your mind all the time. And they're after you. They say things about you. You want to take revenge against them. Chalil v'chas. And mevatel the yetzer hara of shvichus damim, it's included in that also. And the last one, at the end of the davening, mevatel the yetzer hara for Rosh Hashana. Let me tell you something. This is really very, very interesting, very beautiful. There was a Rosh Yeshiva in America, Yeshiva Torah Vadas, a famous yeshiva in New York. I'm not sure which yeshiva it was. He would get up on Rosh Hashana and he would give a drasha. And he would say to all the Talmidim, all the people who came in the base Midrash, when you go home today after davening, don't talk about the Baal Tefillah. Don't talk about the Baal Tokeya, about the Baal Kriya. He didn't lay loud enough. He made mistakes. He dismissed. He doesn't know how. Isn't that? You're being over on Rosh Hashana itself. And this is what people have in mind when they walk out of shul on the way home from shul, or sitting at the table eating the meal. They're talking about the Baal Tefillah. Was it a nice tefillah? You enjoyed it? You didn't enjoy it? This is not a question of what you want. On Rosh Hashana itself. And you're very, very careful. Very, very careful. Rosh Hashana, especially, that's something that people are not aware of. People are not aware of it. That's what Rosh Hashana became so much a part of the way people live. You say something, you didn't really mean to hurt the person, but you did say something negative about somebody else. That's Lashon Hara. A Jew has to,
And say I missed. If I say I missed, when the davener ahead my youngsters.
You're busy with what do you mean you miss?
I missed. I had such a nice davener in Milano.
Yeah.
Without saying it's not as good here.
No. Better not to say such a thing. Better not to say it.
The truth is I really miss it.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So that's the bottom paragraph. Now let's go to the top paragraph on top. The shofar. What is the shofar supposed to accomplish? The first part. Number one. Nam tikis hadid. Al yedei Achizas ha-shofar atzmo, when the Baal Tekeya picks up the shofar with his hand, he holds on to it, that already is mamtik the din. You know why? Because you're supposed to blow the shofar on the right side. A shofar can be blown on the right side of the mouth or the left side of the mouth. The chatchila is supposed to blow on the right side of the mouth. The right side is always chesed, and the right hand is chesed. So the chesed, the shofar represents the din. The shofar represents the din. It's a blast of music. Blast of music has to be exact. And a person who is a musician, if he doesn't know how to play, he'll have tones which are off. So music has to be very, very exact. So therefore, if something which is exact represents the midah of din. So therefore, the shofar represents the midah. It's a musical instrument, represents the midah of din. And when you put your right hand on it, you are showing my right hand is overpowering. It's overpowering, is clutching the midah of din in my hand. My right hand represents chesed, and therefore I'm already sweetening the din just by holding onto the shofar. That this is every Baal Tokeya should know that. I don't know who's going to be a Baal Tokeya here or wherever you daven. You should tell the Baal Tokeya that you should have that in mind. When he picks up the shofar, he has to have in mind that he wants to sweeten the din. Sweeten the din by holding the shofar. And also the tchiyas, al yidei tchiyas b'chlal. In general, the tchiyas, of course. The tchiyas express our crying to Hashem because we have fallen. We started out straight, as the Shlosh said, but in the middle in life, we make many mistakes, and that's for the shvarim and the trua, and that's why it sounds like a cry. A cry is all kinds of levels of crying, but the shvarim and trua represent the crying, and therefore that shows HaKadosh Baruch Hu our remorse, and that also sweetens the din. So Hashem sees that we have regrets, and we want to be yashar. We come back again to this last key. We want to be yashar. That sweetens the din. Okay, number two is a more difficult thing. It's really for the Mukubalim, but nevertheless, the year starts off new. Every year, it's a new year. Rosh Hashana is a new year. And when you start off new, you have to start off with all your energies that you have. Like you start off Motzei Shabbos. You start off Motzei Shabbos at the beginning of the week. You say, you have brachos. You want to have all the brachos at the beginning of the week. Because that is the begin to give the brachos for all the days of the week. So the same thing also, the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year. All the kochos that went out, want to bring them back, to have them all organized and collected together at the beginning of the year. That's what the shofar does. The second thing, this is a Kabbalistic concept. Machzir kochos l'olam ha'elyonim. B'tchilas hashana al yedei pratei kiyos. By all the details of the kiyos, the shvarim, the trua, and all that, that brings back these kochos. So this is what you have to have in mind when you hear the shofar. It's good to have this sheet in front of you to remember this. So that's what it'll accomplish. It'll accomplish what you have in mind to accomplish, that's what it'll accomplish. Just derech agav, a very interesting thing. I said to somebody last night, Motzei Shabbos, is a nusach, besides V'yitin Lecha, is another nusach to say from the Rishalmi. A Rishalmi brings a whole nusach to say, and it goes according to all the Aleph Beis. Well, according to the Aleph Beis. I don't know if the Chabad has it, but by the Sephardi Sidurim, you have it. There's a whole nusach based on the Rishalmi that goes according to all the things that you want to see during this week, all things of bracha. But it goes according to the Aleph Beis. So I said to them, why is there the Aleph Beis now? Why? I said, think about what else do you have the Aleph Beis? You have the Aleph Beis Friday night before Kiddush, the Eishes Chayil. And it's important to say the Eishes Chayil before Kiddush. Some people sing it afterwards to the hostess, to the balabasta, because she prepared the meal and want to give her praise. So you sing Eishes Chayil for the hostess, for the balabasta. Very good. But it's important to say it before also. Why is it important to say it also? Because you have to understand what the Aleph Beis is. The Aleph Beis is an instrument with which HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. Hashem didn't just say boom. Hashem, that's it. All of a sudden there's no, it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. First Hashem created the Aleph Beis. With the Aleph Beis, you have now the pipelines. The pipelines that bring down the bracha. And we want to have the maximum bracha from all of the mitzvahs of Shabbos, including Kiddush. Therefore, you have to prime it by saying the Isha style first. Going through all of the alphabets with the Torah. Motzei Shabbos, again we have the Aleph Beis, as I said from the Yerushalmi. Not in Vita Lachov, over there you don't have the Aleph Beis. You don't understand what they call from the Yerushalmi. It has the Aleph Beis because it's the beginning of the week. And you want at the beginning of the week, you also want to have the Aleph Beis to provide the tzimorah, the pipelines through which the bracha is going to be. You have it during davening also. You have it in the Birchas Kriyashma, El, Baruch, Gadol, Deyor, Heichinu, Fa'al. You have also, in Psukkah Zilva, you have the Ashrei. And then again, afterwards, Kel Baruch. Why do you have every time? Because every time you go up to another Olam. It's another Olam. Psukkah Zilva is one Olam, and then you have Birchas Kriyashma, a higher Olam. In each Olam, you have to have the Aleph Beis so that the Shefa can come down and we can get the what we're supposed to get from it. Okay. And the third thing over there is number 3. The Arviv Asata. Especially the first one. You're preventing the prosecution. When the Baldava, the Satan, hears the shofar, he's silenced. He's silenced. He cannot prosecute. And therefore the Arizal says, listen to this, the Arizal says, why on the day of Tshuva, with the Seres Yemei Tshuva, Rosh Hashana is the first day of the Seres Yemei Tshuva, how come there's no vidu?
No.
No vidu. Hashamu, Bakadmu, Gaza. No vidu. It's a Seres Yemei Tshuva. All week long you do say Hashamu, Bakadmu. You say it, why on Rosh Hashana should we not say it? Seres Yemei Tshuva. The answer is, on the day which is the Chag, and you be Mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're inaugurating, so to speak, the Malchus of Kadosh Baruch Hu. There's no room on those days for your personal problems. You have personal failings, keep them aside. Keep them aside. Sometimes the Rizal said, I'll tell you what you can do. And the Rizal used to do this, and it's brought down in the story. The Rizal used to say, the Hashamu, he said it, in between the sets, in between the Tashrat and the Tashat, he said it so quietly that he himself could not hear the words. But he would say, he would say it, because it's still a Seres Yemei Tshuva. And that is the best time. The best time when the Baldava cannot be Makachrim. Because he's silenced by the colors of the Sheva. He can't be Makachrim. So if you can say the Vidu, but say it so silently that you yourself cannot hear your words. But your lips are moving, you're saying it. You say it in between Tashrat and the Tashav, and then between the Tashav and Tarak, then you can say the Vidu. You can't say it. You don't have to have that nusach of the Yeshua God. You can say things that you know that you have failed in during the year, and you would like to overcome them. You would like to overcome them. You can admit. You can admit to them, I have failed in this. You can say it in your own language. I have failed in this.
You can say in your own language.
Yes, Vidu. Of course, you are admitting that you have failed.
Can you? It's difficult to say them all in a short time.
Okay.
Can you underline specific one that you know you've made?
Of course. You can do any nusach you want is good. The point is that you want to get it in. You want to get it in during the times of the Tkiyas, between the Tashrat and Tashat. You want to get it in. You can say it any language you want.
Not necessarily linked to the 3.
No, it has nothing to do with that. No, nothing to do with that. I'll give you something which I find which is in tremendous need of tikkun. Look, I live in this neighborhood. I in Shari Chesed a lot, I'm in Rechavia a lot. You see, many people are very, very overweight. Very overweight.
Very.
Very.
Just a little.
Yeah, very overweight. And it's quite obvious. They can't hide it. That means they're not eating treifus. They're eating kosher food.
Fabulous.
Huh?
Fabulous.
Yeah. That is something that a person has to work on. When you're not able to control your desires, to indulge, that's something you have to work on. That's not just came down to this world for. You came down to this world to serve Hashem. to do mitzvahs. You probably repeat. You probably repeat. Most of the neshamas of the Arizal, from the second base of Midrash on, all the neshamas are repeats. We're all gikulim. We've been here before. And how do you know what you're sent down here for? How do you know what you have certain pullings towards? Like these people who are very overweight, and they can't control themselves. Women can't. They're not trying hard enough. Of course they can control themselves. They're not going to eat on Yom Kippur, I'm sure. Yom Kippur, they won't eat. Yeah.
Well, I asked Mordecai when I got here, is it rude to turn down dessert? And there's 4 big meals coming up in 2 days. And I skipped the third one.
If you're doing the Shem Shemayim, on the contrary, kol hakavod. You should be proud of yourself if you turn it down. Proud of, if you think I tell you something else. All right, I'll tell you something else very interesting. I've noticed in the last few weeks, there's a shita coming out of the Mideast about longevity. How a person should increase his possibility to live longer. And one of the things they all seem to say is never to eat your full. Eat 80%. Don't fill yourself up till the gills you can't eat anymore. You're hurting your body. Give your body the ability to be flexible. Eat 80%. You'll be able to live, and you'll live much longer.
My late father used to say, wenn am besten schmeckt, halt.
Say it again.
Wenn am besten es schmeckt, muss man halten.
Okay. Very good. So you have a nice dessert. It looks very good. It looks delicious. You would like to eat it, but you know that I'm pushing myself. Don't do it. Not kedai. This is a Yetzer Hara, which is what do we say? Which was it fit into? I don't know which one it would fit into. Maybe the Avodah Zarah and the Yetzer Hara for Avodah Zarah, it's serving yourself. I don't know which one it goes into. But anyway, that would be something to say vidui on during this period between Tashrat and Tashat. To admit to Hashem, I'm giving in to my taiva, I'm not controlling myself. I need to have tikkun. I'm asking you, Hashem, to forgive me for that. Okay. Now, that was the Tashrat. Then the last 2 things on the page are, when you have the Tashat and the Tarat, so here it says, Mavatal v'Yetzer Hara on the mitzvah saseh, and Batal v'Yetzer Hara, Asher a mitzvah lo saseh. Okay, now that's obvious. The Baal Shem Tov, he talks about this a lot. He says the following. People are under the impression, when you say vidu, you go through the entire list of all the averos that a person could do. Pagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Doifi, I said, I was put Shesh, Hikarnu. I said, I did all these things wrong. And I'm saying vidu, admitting that I did it wrong. He says, there's something that people don't realize. You're not only supposed to say vidu on the thing that you did wrong. Even the things that you did right, you have to say vidu. Why? Because did you do them like you're supposed to do them? Did you do them for the right reasons, as we spoke about before? Lishma. You did it for your own interest. You did it for self-interest. You have to say vidu with that also. I'm serving you, Hashem, but it's only on the outside. I'm really serving myself. The vidu, everything you do, you're supposed to do with ava, with yira. That means everything you do to for Hashem, you have to have a certain feeling of ahava for Hashem and a certain feeling of awe. Do you have those feelings? It's every davar shem kedusha has to have a hachana. Everything that has a kedusha needs a preparation. It needs a preparation because you can't just jump into it. Everything is machshava. Judaism is very, very deep. It's very, very deep and it's very demanding. Something which is deep and demanding requires a preparatory period. You have to hit any muchon mezuman or the shem yichud kodesh. It requires. Think about marriage. Is there anything holier than marriage? It's the holiest thing. It's a davar kodesh kedushin. You have to have before marriage. You have to have everything. You have to have kedushin. Why do you have to have kedushin? Because anything that the nesuin, the actual cheder yichud, when they are together, the husband and wife are together, That is the climax already. But before that, you have to have a preparation. You have to have Kiddushin. It has to have the right environment and the right attitude. You have to have Kinyan. Every Darash in Kedusha must have a preparation. So the same thing applies to every mitzvah we do. You cannot just jump into a mitzvah. You have to think before it, I'm going to now do a mitzvah, like we saw about the shofar. Before the shofar starts, you have to think, I'm going to be Makayim, the mitzvah say, of Shemias Kol Shofar, and you could say the Noam or the Shem Yichud, whatever. The main thing is in your mind, I'm now thinking that I want to be Makayim, the mitzvah of Shemias Kol Shofar. Very, very important. Okay, so we finished this page. I give everyone the page. Please keep it and have it with you during the Tchiyah Shofar to remind you of what you have to think of.
My father,
Yeah.
before the Chatan Magor, on Shabbat, always used to sing.
Yeah. Very good.
You reminded me, I forgot it, but you reminded me.
Yeah. Well, when I was a child, we learned that in America. I haven't sung it myself in a long time, but it's in the Siddur. It's in the Siddur, yeah. Okay. We have one more thing. Here's another page. Now we say something extra during the Seder Simei Tshuva, starting in Rosh Hashana, after Yishtabach, we don't start Kaddish right away. We say Shir Amalas Mimamakim Kovisich Hashem. We say this for 10 days. It's only Yom Kippur.
And we saw
Huh? Yeah, Kuf Lamed. Kuf Lamed. What is the reason for saying it? What do we say Mimamakim? What do I want to do? Why are we saying this? So here I have the explanation of all of them. It's 10 days. It goes according to the 10 Sfiros. And you can write it down in English if you want to know what you're supposed to be thinking of when you say the Mimamakim. Okay, the first day on Rosh Hashana, number 1, Ritzonos v'akshanut. I want to be mavatal all my desires and my stubbornness. Bitul ritzonenu l'ritzon Hashem. Ritzon ha'elyon, that is the Ritzon Hashem. U'lehamlich Yisrael aleinu. U'lekabel minhagei Yisrael. Even though it's not my minute, but if it's a minute and I don't do it, I want to be a couple on it because that is the Ritzon Hashem. That is the first one, the Kesser. That's the first day, Kesser. The second day of Rosh Hashana is Chochmah. We hear, we're thinking about Shir Malach Mimamakim. We add this to the davening on Seder Simei Tshuva after Yishtabach, before you say Kaddish. And Mimamakim comes from Mimamakim means from the depths. Inside me, I want to be Mavatal, what's inside me, which is Neged Hashem, in the deepest regions of my heart. So the first day is Keser. You want to be Mavatal all your Retzonos and actually your stubbornness that you have, which is the neck against Hashem's Ratzon. You want to be Mavatal that. The second day is Chochmah. Neged Chochmas Chitzonios she'ein lehem shaychus l'Torah. Now some people have all kinds of hobbies that they're interested in, that they like to spend time. Some people like to spend time, I don't know, doing puzzles, crossword puzzles, all kinds of things people have. Is there any service of Hashem involved in that? Does that make Hashem happy when you're doing crossword puzzles? When you do things of that nature? So people can develop all kinds of chokhmas on how to do it. So he says, that's what you have to work on the second one. Neged chokhmas chisainish she'ein lehem shaychus l'Torah. She'chokhma titasek b'mitzvot v'torah. Everything you do should have some kind of connection to Torah and mitzvahs. Number 3, give you the koach to push away all machshava zoros miyad udvarim ha'asurim v'it'amkud b'hem. You don't want to have any focus or any deepness in all kinds of strange thoughts, which are also forbidden by the Torah. You don't even think into them. You're asking Hashem to help you get that out of your heart, out of your mind. That's in Bina. Number 4, which is Chesed. Chesed has to do with Avod, Lidchos, Ahavot, Ra'ot. The people have all kinds of pet things they like to do. They enjoy certain things. Ahavot, Ra'ot. I'd say, I look in the street sometimes, I see people walking with dogs. Religious people. They have dogs. Sometimes it could be other animals. What do you have the dog for? What you have Rahmanas on the dog? Why you bought the dog?
God had the Rahmanas, the dog, even then, not kosher food, no.
Yeah, but you have plenty of things to busy yourself with. You have time. They have to go out 2 or 3 times a day, take the dog out to make sure that he has a place to relieve himself. What do you have a love of dogs for? There's nothing else you can transfer your love to human beings, that people who need advice, people who need consultation, people need comforting. Give your time to people to other Jews. Why waste it on a dog? Yeah.
There are people, psychologists, that say it's good for the children. It teaches to the children to have Rahmanas, or to take care not only of yourself, but also of the dog, give him to eat, you teach him. It's a kind of behavior.
It could be for that. But I would say that children will get much more if they see that you're kind to neighbors, kind to people who are sick, or Bikur Cholim. If they see that and they go with you on these visits to people.
Yes, where does this come from?
This comes from a sefer called Sifsei.
By?
It's a likud.
By
It's a likud of all kinds of Mekayros. Go to Sifsei.
No, I have a problem with this.
Yeah, why?
I have been brought up since my first day with animals in our home, and I think I learned a lot of it.
Okay, I don't say it can't be, it could be used positively too. But I'm saying it's always better if the time that you spend with the animals, you could spend with humans, with neighbors, with children. It doesn't have to be with animals.
But this doesn't say anything about animals.
Huh?
This doesn't say anything about dogs.
No, it doesn't say animals itself. It says, Lidchos ahavot ra'ot. Things that you have a love for, which, are extra, or they're not even good.
If you take care of plants, is the same?
I don't know. It depends. It depends. For women, I would say it's, much easier. They don't have a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. But the time that you put in, with a plant, why you can learn at that time. You can learn Torah. Why are you bothering with a plant? Learn Torah in that time. Learn another Mishnah. Learn another Mishnah.
Le'odah or le'shomra.
No, it's was. But then you have to look for it. To be Le'avdah l'shomra, doesn't mean learning also?
Also, not only.
I would say it's much bigger learning, much bigger mitzvah to learn Torah than to take care of plants.
On Rosh Hashana, every day. Well, I mean every day, okay. But no, this is for Rosh Hashana.
This is for 10 days.
Okay, not during the year.
Well, no, this we say for 10 days.
I know. But what we are reading now, for instance, number 4,
Yeah.
it's all the year.
Right. So I want to be able to overcome it. That if I took care of plants until now, I'm going to give it over to somebody else. I won't destroy the plants. I'll give it to somebody else. And in that time that I spend with the plants, I'm going to make up a seder. I'm going to learn a Mishnah every single day. One more Mishnah. Another Mishnah. And after, I have a whole Masechta finished. I think Hashem would be much happier than that than taking plants. It's simple. That's all. Okay, number 5. That's Gevurah now. Gevurah is number 5. You want to ask Hashem to give you koch to be misgaber on the Yetzer. Liot b'shuka al yonim she'inim l'tov Hashem. You don't want to be involved in things which are against Hashem. That's simple. You want to have the koch. You want to have the Gevurah to overcome the Yetzer hara, which leads you to things which are next to Hashem, like for instance eating. You want to have the koch to be misgaber on the Yetzer hara, it pulls you to eat. Or people have a desire to drink, or they drink liquor. You ask Hashem to give you the Gevurah to misgaber against that. Number 5, Tiferes. Tiferes is it's parud, that is glory. You want to find glory in people's eyes. You want people to praise you. You're looking for them. You're looking for a good word. What do you do that for? Why do you need the praise of people? You want to make Hashem happy. You want to make Hashem happy. You should praise other people, not to look for them to praise you. That's wrong. That's wrong. you're looking for them to praise you, that means you're not doing it for Hashem. You're doing it to get some reaction from people to praise you. That's his paru, that's Tiferes, that's a wrong kind of glory. It's a wrong kind of glory. So you're asking Hashem to help you to want the right kind of glory, to do what Hashem wants. Make him happy. Make him be glorified. Okay. That's me saying in the Kaddish all the time. He's pedal, he's pa'er, he's Rabbi, he's not saying. He's pa'er. Means Hashem should have glory in what we do. All right, next. The various words of Netzach. Netzach, it means to be victorious. Neged nitzchona shel olam hazeh. All your victories of olam hazeh that have nothing to do with Torah. You lovatlom ulenatzeach yitzhara lasos nachas ruach lashem. Okay, simple. You want to have victory over things that are not important in Torah. Like maybe this example, taking care of animals. To be misgaber on that. That you want to be victorious over that. The habit that you've been brought up always with animals. I don't think it's necessary to have animals in a Jewish home. First of all, animals is a koach of tumah. Cats, dogs, these are koachas of tumah. Why do you have to have a koach of tumah in the house? What do you need that for? Better not to have it. I mean, if you're going to have something, at least have it. If you want to take care of animals, a chicken, you want to take care of chickens. Chickens are kosher animals. Take care of a chicken or a dove, a yoina. Yoina is also a kosher animal. But why a dog? Why a dog? I mean, I understand the dog's a man's best friend. The dogs are very, very, friendly. I understand all the positive sides. But I think as far as avodah Hashem is concerned, the things much better that you can do besides take care of dogs. Okay, number 8, Hod.
Excuse me, Akarat dog. They didn't bark with us.
That's correct. You have to have a Akarat dog. It doesn't mean you have to have it in the house.
What about this taking a moment to put some food out for all the cats?
That's fine. That's all right. It takes a second. Instead of throwing it out in the garbage, let them eat it. Well, of course, it's about tashkus. If they can eat it, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. On the contrary, I mean, you're doing something positive. Instead of throwing it into the garbage when no one gets it, let the cats eat it. Fine. Okay. Now, number 8 is number 7. Ho. Very important. We take things for granted. Every single day you have modim and naftalach. You have to, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is moda ani lefanecha. Not to belittle that at all. When you say the Birchas Hamazal, the second bracha, no delach Hashem Elokeinu, we have to say that with tremendous amount of enthusiasm and simcha. Think about us. People like us sitting here now, there are people who would give millions to be in our position. They can't get out of their rut in Chutzlaretz. They can't get out of it. They can't come. They want to come. They can't because they're all coming. We are so fortunate to be in Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim. We have so much to be thankful for. How could you just not be thankful? Express it every single day. Every day. Very, very important. Hashem says, you don't appreciate what I give you, I'll take it away from you. If you don't realize the goodness that you have, don't take it for granted as a daily thing. You have to express every single day. You eat 3 times a day. You say, Birchas Hamazal 3 times a day. You say, no, 3 times a day. For the food, every time. Not only for the food, for everything. Very important, the whole. Very important. Shimon answering. Number 8, Yisod. The Yisod is the Kesher. Neked HaKesher L'Sitra Achwa, Rachmana Litzlan. Ba'achila, B'shtiya, V'kol Mini Hanos, Sheyu Rak M'Shem Shemayim, V'lo L'Atzmeinu. You don't want to have connection. Yisod means a connection. You don't want to have a connection to all those things which have a negative side to them. Like eating and drinking, or all kinds of physical pleasures that people have. I'll give you an example. Go to the mikveh. When people go to the mikveh, there's all kinds of, there's a cold mikveh, there's a hot mikveh, there's a warm mikveh. People go in the mikveh, and they sit in the mikveh and just enjoy the warm water. You're going there for tahara. You go there for tahara, not to go to enjoy the pool. That's not the point to go to the mikveh. That's what he says, that's Yesod. That's a connection to evil pleasures. You're just going in there for self-enjoyment. you're going to be tahor because you dunk and you come out, so you're going to be tahor. But you're going in there to enjoy yourself. It should be in and out, and you do what you have the kavaras that you want to have. But to sit in the mikvah line and just sit there and relax and lean back like you're sitting in a hot bathtub and you're relaxing yourself, that's not the purpose of the mikvah. That's considered hamnoah rose. It's hamnoah. It's improper. It's improper. It's not the right place. The last one is malchus. That's on Yom Kippur. Lahamda Hashem Yisborach al kol evarav makshava v'dibur v'lo lahakshiv it should be le'atzas hayesir. Okay. Lahashlich me'alav kol all v'shibud she'ein avodas Hashem. That goes into this. A person takes on himself all kinds of duties, all kinds of I would say responsibilities that they have, and they're not avodas Hashem. Like an example. With a dog. You're taking a dog into the house, you're binding yourself, and you have a responsibility to take care of that dog. You brought him in, you have to take care of him. Is this considered avodas Hashem? Well, you have to see how you do it. Can you do something better at that time? I think you can. So he says, call Eilu, the last one, Oshim Lanu, Mikanes, La'olam Gavoa Yoter, Be'michas Kriyach Shema. Why is it said over here before Kaddish? So when you start Be'michas Kriyach Shema, you have already made a tikkun in the lower world, and now you can go to the higher worlds and say Kriya Shema and Shema Esrei. We should all have a ksiva machzina taiva.
That's a lot.
That's a shame.